Hey, it's Mrs. Lazalier. Today is day 3 of Montecasino distance learning due to coronavirus 2020. So today we're going to take a look at graphing inequalities. Yesterday we learned how to write inequalities and how to determine if a given number is a solution of an inequality. Today we're going to look at how to graph them. So we'll get started. I did post another video with this assignment that I think is really good and really in-depth. The guy's obviously much better at making YouTube videos than I am, so take a look at that one too. I'll make this one short and sweet just to follow up on his. So basically, graphing an inequality, we're going to graph it not on a coordinate plane, we're going to graph it on a number line. And if you're in your textbook on page 328, example 3, Example 3 says graph G is greater than 2. G is greater than 2. So we're very simply going to start with a number line. And we're going to start with 3 numbers. We're going to start with 0, 1, and 2. Now you could go all the way to 10, you could include negatives, but I just need to see 3 numbers from you. And because 2 is the number that's given to us, it needs to be 2 and something near it. It could be 1, 2, and 3. Now this tells me that G is greater than 2. It's not greater than or equal to 2. So 2 is not a solution. If I were to put 2 right here, 2 is greater than 2, and I were to ask you, is this a possible solution, you would have to say no. If it were 3, 3 is greater than 2, that's true, you would say yes. 4, you would say yes. So we have all these options. Any number greater than 2 is a possible solution. So this is how you're going to show this on your number line. So to graph this on your number line, you're very simply, I'm going to try to keep this book from moving on me. You're very simply going to go to 2. Because 2 itself is not a solution, you're going to use an open circle. But everything bigger than 2 is a solution. So you're literally going to go up and over to the right to show that 2 is our starting point. It's not a solution, but any number greater than that, any number to the right on the number line is a possible solution. That's it. If I were to show you G is greater than or equal to 2, that would change things. If I said G could be greater than or equal to 2, 2 would be a solution because that would be 2 is greater than or equal to 2. That is a yes, that's a solution. So then that would be graphed differently. A line, arrows on both ends because this is not a segment, this is a line that is unending in both directions. This time I'll try 1, 2, 3. Just to show you something a little different. Now I would do a circle at 2, but I would fill it in to show that 2 is included in the solution set. So 2 and every number greater than 2 is included. So if it's not a solution, it's an open circle. If it would be a solution or included in the solution set, then it is a closed circle. Okay, now your word problem for example 4 says the NASA Solar Probe Plus can withstand temperatures up to and including. So up to and including. So it can withstand temperatures up to and including, ooh, this is getting like a workout, up to and including 2600 degrees Fahrenheit. So 2600 degrees Fahrenheit is the absolute most that it can withstand. So our equation would be T would have to be everything less than and including less than or equal to 2,600. So for this one, we would add our arrows in both directions, and maybe I make this 2,500, and maybe I make this 2,700, and I just wrote those below because I wrote 2,600 so large. And now you would take 2,600, because it's included in the solution set, I would color it in, and then it's less than. So this tells me less than. That's it. This is very helpful. The point on your greater than or less than is very helpful in telling you which way your arrow should go. So, your assignment, which I'm posting on the portal, you're going to do pages 329 and 330. You're going to do 18 through 38, just the evens. 18 through 38, just the evens. So for 18 and 20, you're literally just going to look at 18 and decide which graph would show x is less than 2. Now remember, that doesn't have a less than or equal to, so that's going to be an open circle. And then 20 is x is less than or equal to -2. That tells me less than or equal to, it's going to be a closed circle. On 22 and 24, you're going to write an inequality and a word sentence that represents that graph. So we'll do 21 as an example. 21, which is not part of your assignment, just an example, says it has a number line and it has an open circle at 1. So that tells me that it's going to be either a greater than, less than, but not equal to, because it's an open circle. The arrow is going to the left, lesser numbers. So that tells me it's going to be a less than sign. So my answer for 21 would be x or y or g or whatever variable you want to use is less than 1, not less than or equal to, just less than 1. And then you could write a sentence that represents the graph. So you could say, I am allowed to have less than 1 hour of television per day. Probably not right now with everything that's happening and we're all stuck inside. I know I'm watching a lot more television. But your example of a sentence, a word sentence, could be, Sarah is allowed to watch less than 1 hour of television a day. That would go with this graph. If it were a closed circle, it would be, Sarah is allowed to watch less than or equal to 1 hour of television per day. So you're going to write it as an inequality and then as a word sentence. Then on section 3, 26 through 36, just the evens again. You're going to just graph it like we just did on here. And then on 38, tell me what's wrong with their attempt to solve this inequality and graph it, and then fix it. So that's it. So that's all you have for today. I miss you guys, and it was good to see the people who were able to join us on Zoom yesterday. I'm going to be doing Zoom every Wednesday at 10:30, so if you're able to join us, just follow the links that I'll send. Bye.